Good morning, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lady Nika, and with a quick let's chat. I was down to IG as normal, and I ran across this story from Baller Alert concerning the vegan chef who on Christmas Day decided he would take out his entire family. Child, I don't even know what to say about something like that. I think it's just awful. But let me read you just a little excerpt from this article that I found. It says an Arizona man has been arrested for fatally shooting his ex-wife and two children on Christmas Day at a Phoenix apartment. Witnesses say they saw Anthony Milan Ross, 45, shoot his 38-year-old ex-wife Iris Ross on Monday near 16th and Highland Avenue as she tried to run away from him. Witnesses then asked Ross if his ex-wife was okay, to which Ross responded no and pointed a gun at them. Then he went into the apartment and shot his two children, his 10-month-old daughter, Honora Ross, and his 11-year-old son, Nigel Ross. The man then barricaded himself inside the apartment. Police arrived at the scene and found Iris' body lying in the front patio way of the apartment complex. Officials tried to convince Ross to leave the home, but after a few hours he started to shoot at police. Around 10 p.m. that Monday night, police had to deploy a robot to get into the home, and that's when Ross started to fire at authorities. When the shootout died down, authorities were able to apprehend Ross. Police found Honora and Nigel both dead. According to reports, just hours before the brutal murders, Ross was all smiles and singing Christmas carols with his son on a video he posted on Facebook. Now he's facing 3 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of aggravated assault, 19 counts of aggravated assault against an officer, and a count of discharging a firearm within city limits. He's being held without bond, and his next hearing is January 3rd in Phoenix. Now, if for those of y'all who may not know, this is that vegan chef. This is a guy that we've seen on the TV, and he started to really pick up a little popularity because he was once over 500 pounds, and he credited his son Nigel as his reasoning for deciding to lose the weight. His wife and him had been separated. The divorce became final this past summer. 9 hours before he was 9 hours before all of this took place, he was on Facebook with a video singing Christmas carols with the son that he murdered 9 hours later. This just goes to show y'all that you never know what a person is going through, and that undiagnosed, I guess you could say undiagnosed mental illness runs rampant. I oftentimes say that it runs rampant in the black community because we are the community that don't like to actually admit that we have, like mental problems. We tend to feel like that automatically deems you as crazy, so people don't want to, in our community, oftentimes to get the help that they need. I thought that this was just an absolute tragedy. What was going on inside his head that made him snap to the point where he not only took his wife's life, his ex-wife's life, but the life of his 10-month-old child and his 11-year-old son? That's just, I'm at a loss for words for something like that. I really don't understand it. I don't know what he must have been going through that made him snap like that. But see, I kind of feel like, okay, he snapped, but he ain't snapped all the way, because most of the times, if it was a case where he snapped and he realized he did something wrong, why he didn't take his life, opposed to taking the life of those two children who hadn't even begun to live their lives. It's a sad situation, but it also makes you understand that people do need to seek help. There's nothing wrong with admitting that your emotions are all over the place and you may need some help. I don't see anything wrong with that. A lot of times people are ostracized because they feel like, oh, I can't say that, I'm having emotional problems because it'll people think I'm crazy. Crazy does not mean well, having emotional problems does not mean that you crazy. I tell people all the time, the brain is an organ, just like your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, and it's subject to malfunction, and there is nothing wrong with going and getting some help. Now, these two little lives are gone, and the life of his wife, his ex-wife, Iris, is gone. All because obviously he didn't feel like he needed to talk to someone to try to get his thought process on back on track. There's no way you can think in your mind that there's no way that you can justify what went on here. I think that he probably done threw his life away. And to me, that's fair because you took the lives of three people. You had visitations with your children and she came to get the kids and you shot her. And then you had sense enough to go into the apartment and shoot your other two kids and actually get in a 7-hour standoff with the police. I don't understand. All I say is, if you feel like you coming unhinged or you having a hard time dealing with whatever emotions that you may have going on inside of you, there is no harm in reaching out to someone else for help. It's better to reach out for help than to go about it this way. He bottled up whatever was going on with him inside of him. He had that bottled up in him for quite some time, I'm sure. And it exploded. And look what happened. Now these two kids are dead. Ex-wife dead. He might as well be dead. Who wins in a situation like this? Nobody. That's the reason why I urge people, with the world being the way it is and the stresses are so much more now than I think in my lifetime I've ever seen before, I would say that if you're having some type of problem handling your emotions, you find yourself angry, you find yourself anxious, mood swings, all of that, it's okay to sit down with somebody that can help you sort through that so that you don't end up doing something to yourself or others. That would be the most sensible thing to do, because what this man has done now, he has destroyed his family. That wife has family. Those kids, his family members that love those children, that's a whole family destroyed because he had some type of emotional breakdown. I just don't understand. I don't. But what I do know is he could have avoided this. This could have been avoided. I know somebody around him noticed something wasn't all the way together. He wasn't just cool, calm, and collected all the time. It was a build-up somewhere in there. And I just wish he had reached out to somebody opposed to taking the lives of his two children and his ex-wife. And when I saw the video of him and his son singing Christmas carols, you saw no indication that he could snap. All you saw was a father and his son having a father-son moment on Christmas. It was nothing in that video that would make you think that he would do something like what he did a mere 9 hours later. So, I just say all the time, if you feel like you're losing it, or you feel like, your emotions are all over the place, it's no harm in reaching out to somebody for some help. Again, the brain is no more than an organ in your body, and it is subject to malfunction. And you will do yourself more good by going to get that checked on and get someone to help you through whatever it is that you're going through, opposed to hurting yourself or possibly hurting someone else. But I just feel sad about this. You just never know. Now I'm sitting at home with my family on Christmas Day, and somewhere in the world this was taking place. Just awful, y'all. Awful. But that was all I wanted to talk about. I just popped in because I saw this on IG and I wanted to talk about it. If you want to read the story more in depth, you can go to balleralert.com, and that's where the story comes from. But that's it. That's all I want to talk about. Y'all remember, the depth of your struggle will determine the height of your success. In the meantime, in between time, please comment, rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video wherever it is you share videos. Y'all let me know what y'all thoughts on this particular story is. This is really, really sad. I think it's just awful. Just awful. 10 months, 11 years old, 38 years old, and I don't remember how old they said he was, but he came from, he did something awesome. He changed his life around for the betterment of his children and lost that weight so that he would be here for his child, only to kill his child. Okay, well, that's all I want to talk about. Y'all get in the panty and let me know what y'all think about this situation. And please, please, my people, anybody that's listening to this video, if you feel that you are not completely in control of your emotions, please know that it's no harm in reaching out and saying you need help. I would rather you say I need help and get it than to let that fester and build up within you, and you hurt somebody that don't deserve to be hurt, or you hurt yourself. You know. All right, I'm out, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. Peace.